Hi guys! So I'm coming to you today with an analogy that I'm calling the Rubik's Cube of life. The other day I was having a conversation with a friend and she was talking about how she was kind of frustrated because she feels like she's mastered a lot of different areas of her life that she's had experience in, but there's still quite a few other areas that she's looking to grow and expand into, such as opening your heart, living from your heart center, embodying your divine feminine, living in abundance. But at the same time, there's many aspects of her life that are so complete, that are so full, and she feels that she's kind of mastered those aspects of her life because she's had so much practice in them. But at the same time, those areas that she's really good at are also the areas that she feels are holding her back from these other sides of herself that she wants to step into. And when I was in that conversation with her, something came out of my mouth that I want to share with you today. And I said to her, you know what? It's kind of like a Rubik's Cube. When you're trying to solve that Rubik's Cube puzzle and you get two of the sides completed, and maybe you have like the red side completed, it's all red, no missing pieces, and you have the blue side all completed, it's completely blue, no missing pieces, but then you have these few other sides that are a jumbled mess. And I said, if you try to hang on too tightly to the areas of yourself, the layers of yourself, the dimensions of yourself that you believe are already complete, that you believe you've already mastered or you've already solved, then you are also going to be holding yourself back from solving, in the case of the puzzle, or in the case of life, you're going to be holding yourself back from experiencing the completeness or the wholeness that awaits you within those new layers that you are yet to step into. And so I said to her, what if we have to mess up the entire Rubik's Cube? We have to let ourselves fall into a mess, to deconstruct ourselves, to die. Parts of ourselves have to die, to be rebirthed, to rebuild more quickly, more efficiently, more easily that entire cube, so that we can become a complete puzzle versus having half of our puzzle complete and half of our puzzle being just waiting there for us to even look at it. And that can sound scary in life. Of course, it sounds easy, right? In the case of the puzzle, yeah, just screw it all up and start again. But in life, when we have parts of ourselves that we feel so comfortable with, that we feel so at home in, that we feel are truly they are our identity, we get attached to them, and it becomes really hard to let those parts go in that search, in that journey to allowing in and calling in more. But I know for myself personally, like this came up in a conversation with my friend, but it's also something that I'm realizing within myself, is that I'm having to let go of parts of myself that I thought were forever, or parts of myself that I thought were me. And come to find out, they're not me. Even without them, I will still exist. Even when those parts of myself are in a mess, even when they're completely jumbled up, I am still whole within. It's just the process, the experience of putting our puzzle together through this entire process that we're navigating. And in order to really reach the depth of what we came here to do, of what we came here to experience, there's going to be many times in our life where we have to deconstruct things, where we have to start over, if you will, where we have to take apart our selves, or we have to take apart our puzzle and redo it. And the good news is, if you have aspects of yourself that you feel really good about, and you do feel like you're complete in those areas, you can never lose them. You can never lose that wholeness, that completeness that you have been in. Sometimes that was a stepping stone. You had to reach that point so that you knew what it would feel like when you get back there again. Now that you know what those parts of you feel like when they're in alignment, when they're complete, you will be able to tell next time when it's right. And it's kind of like the Rubik's Cube. If you've solved two faces of it before, you'll be able to solve those two faces of it again, and probably more quickly and more easily than the first time. But you will also have the chance and the opportunity to solve many of the other faces at the same time, because you're giving yourself the opportunity, the space to have a fresh start, to have a clean slate, and to see what you can build on from that new lens. And so within our conversation, we both found a lot of peace in the fact that you can never lose what you've already had, but you can only gain, and it's more easy to gain and accept in new parts of ourselves when we let go of that firm grip that we've had on what we thought was. When we allow ourselves to fall apart, when we allow ourselves to have a breakdown, to have, our on the knees moment where at that lowest point, at that depth, you then rise even higher than you've ever been before. And I've used that example before. Sometimes we have to descend in order to ascend. And so it's just another analogy, this Rubik Cube example that I give to you, that hopefully gives us a picture of what life is. It's not about hanging on to the pieces of that Rubik's Cube puzzle that are already solved and just saying, forget about the other 5 faces. We are allowed to deconstruct ourselves. We are allowed to fall apart in order to rebuild and to come back into even grander fullness. And so I hope that this example, my share, touches whoever it was meant to touch. If it was beneficial for you, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. I love you guys all so much, and I will talk to you soon.